Good morning, everyone. Just checking to make sure everything is getting ready and is live. Let's just see. Sorry about the wait. Still seems YouTube's having some times in delay. Okay, cool. We are ready to go. Sorry about that. Getting Instagram Live ready for all those watching on IG. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Today is our second installment for Ending the Madness this March. And today we start off by exploring the concept of objectivity. And what is intended today through this meditation is that we can gain the clarity to really observe the origin of the habits, the more mental patterns, and other things that hold us back. Now, the key with today's meditation is going to be utilizing kind of everything that we've gone over thus far into really developing your practice to build space. Now, one thing that I want to make clear here is space is only being built seemingly. It only appears that the space is being built. And this is just because our entire lives, our thoughts and our emotions and the physical sensations have become so intimate. They seem, every time that they happen, it's just instinctive, impulsive that we follow them, that our internal gaze, our awareness, our attention shifts towards them. Now, the key here that we need to think about is, how do we really get the space so we can identify and not get led astray by the thoughts and impulses and emotions that arise within our experience? And through today's meditation, that's the goal, really, is to build space through objective observation. Now, the habits that we have, they present themselves in many different fashions. Some have an emotion first, some have a thought first, some have a sensation first, but they tend to kind of almost have a ritual about them. Now, in terms of people and ending our struggling and our suffering, we need to think that in order to really live a peaceful and happy life, we have to know what it is that's causing us to be upset, living in strife, living in stress, anxiety, negativity, et cetera, et cetera. And through that process, what you can see is your thoughts have distance to them. Your emotions have distance to them. Your sensations have distance to them. It's very much one of those situations where when you know you're not supposed to do something, but you have a thought and you don't do it, it's very much like that. You'll be able to interpret your thoughts. You'll be able to see your emotions as something that's not necessarily oh, I have to do this. This is me. It can be more of a suggestion. It's going to be more of a looking at these things with a questioning gaze. And we'll get into the real exciting stuff in the meditation. So all I ask for you is to just finally calmly find a place to sit and just relax. Again, just make sure you're not putting your back on anything. If you're sitting in a chair or if you're lying down, just make sure you don't fall asleep. And from here, what I'm going to ask you to do is just, we're going to really begin today by diving deep. We want to go for a nice, calming, peaceful meditation in the beginning, and then essentially work our way into this objective gazing. So, because if you haven't done this yet, you may not know what I'm talking about, and it can be confusing. So the biggest thing here is just to relax. Just relax. And with each tap of the bell, just allow yourself to calmly relax, sink deeper into peace. Allow each bell ring to bring a new breath in and out of the body. The goal of today is to go beyond the mind, the emotions and the sensations that arise. And to push us through, it will be our own awareness. Today, you must look through the illusion, the habit, the ritual, the cycle. Life itself is always guiding you towards truth. But what holds us back is our beliefs, our attachments, the assumptions we make about the world, and from here we must see there is much we have yet to discover, and there is much we do not know. And just as we don't know much about our world externally, our internal space is the least explored. The power of recognition is not only illuminating, but a destructive force. A destructive force that brings an end to the assumptions and the beliefs that we have, as they are burned away through the light of truth. What has your life been like when you learn something new that washes away the old? You let it go. It happens so fast and with such ease. It's almost as if we never lived in that old assumption and belief. So what makes us so sure that we know everything we need to know in this current moment? In truth, your questioning will set you free. You need not be active in your questioning with more thoughts, but your activity of questioning can arise through simply looking, simply listening, and perceiving the thought and emotion and sensation that may arise. Dispassionately observe your thoughts, this inner space we are talking about. To question, to look without attachment, is to remain and simply be as you are. You don't need to do anything. We can define the ego as separation itself. It uses separation, judgment, fear to remove you from your true position. But you are removed through belief alone. It is not the actuality of your existence. But when we get swept away, identified with our emotions and bodily sensations, when we believe our thoughts and their wild, chaotic activity to be our own, we fundamentally are living in an illusory state. We must understand, we must come to witness that life is happening and we are the viewer of it, the watcher. And when you keep your attention geared towards your own observation, simply looking, simply listening, perceiving itself, you will see the activity of your mind and heart happen spontaneously, just as the breeze blows the wind outside. Coming to the recognition that your thought, patterns, and habits are based upon the past, you can look with them with more intrigue, purely from the standpoint of where are they coming from? What is their origin? Why is this the thought that repeats? And the same line of inquiry can be made for the emotions. The bodily habits of the mind, heart, and form are just that, habits, built upon past moments that we perpetuate and continue to build upon if we do not see that they are not our own. How can they be? You came into this world with nothing, and over time, the imprints and impressions of others have had their lasting effect on you. Why? Who, what continues this cycle? We must understand that there is nothing in this life that we cannot know and discover. But we cannot hold on to the baggage of old. We must let go of it. We let go through looking clearly, looking with space, perceiving with space itself in mind. Listen and observe your thoughts as if they are coming from another being. And you will see just how quickly their illusion falls, how fast their words' weight dissolves. But this cannot happen if you believe them to be you. For there's intense intimacy and attachment when we believe that everything that we observe internally is us, and it is but a game of the ego, a game of separation. But the thing about life is it's always teaching its lessons in the contradictions. It's always showing things in a paradoxical fashion. Look at your own experience. What is it that bothers you the most? Who is it that upsets you the most? What situations can cripple you and harm you the most? Then you must question why. Be the ever questioning child for your own habits. Why? 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 The questioning itself isn't meant to be a task. It's meant to show you the path. Because when we question, that which is not true cannot hold up to it. Quickly it will fall. But you must perceive everything inside you as a suggestion. You must come to look at the internal phenomena within you with the same understanding as when others act outside of you. Something you need not control. Simply watch. Watch with space. Realize that the ego uses that which you hold highly to become and make you and continue to keep you enslaved. Enslaved by your own beliefs, enslaved by your own emotions, sensations that you identify and hold to be true. But how quickly do these phenomena vanish when we are distracted with something that catches our eye? We see it in life with children being consumed by the emotion and the thought in a form of a tantrum. And as a child, we see and feel and experience the overwhelming factors when we believe. Did you not? Did your pain not feel like it would be forever? Did it not feel as if it was the worst? We can see that these patterns and habits never changed as we aged. They only matured as our body did. But just as our body grew more powerful, so does the damage that our thoughts, emotions, and sensations can do. Look at any addict of a physical substance. Look at those who lose sight of reality and believe every thought that arises. And look how isolated those are that respond to every emotion that comes up within them. Very much looking like this, you can see these sensations and phenomena do not serve you. Because they have become the car that drives itself. And you are sitting in the driver's seat, simply along for the ride. But this is only because we enjoy the sensation, the emotion, the thoughts. We hold on to them because we believe them to be us, to be true. But how many times has your imagination been correct about a circumstance, about a situation? And will you let those rare and few moments outweigh the innumerous amount of delusions that never came to be, of dreams that never came to fruition, of thoughts that never came into existence? Divide and conquer. It's almost as if it's the mantra of the mind. For when we doubt ourselves, we lose everything. We lose control, we lose understanding, we lose that which what we are. And we invest all of our belief in that which is outside of us. Simply look within your own heart. Peace is all around you. Silence is you. Space is infinite within you. And when you give more attention to that space, to that quiet, to that calm, you will quickly observe that the mind and emotions and sensations silence themselves. They quiet themselves. Like layers of sediment, the mind and internal phenomena act like rocks and sand, slowly drifting to the bottom. When you allow them to simply fall away, you are left with nothing but distinct phases of operation and observation. You see the thought come and you see the thought go. And in the silence you remain. Disinterested in thoughts you remain. You are capable of so much more than what you currently believe and know. But it's because you've held on to the past which does not serve you. Life is intended to be explored. So explore yourself. Be more interested in the observer than that which is observed. It is this objective viewing that will destroy any falsity within you. For you will be able to clearly see what it is, where it came from. And when you recognize that these thoughts and emotions are only temporary, you'll become disinterested. Allow yourself to simply let go. Let go of the seriousness of thought. Let go of the negativity of thought. Let go of the fear of thought. For all is used as a distraction to lure you away from the initial moment of simple looking and questioning. And that will deter any rooting of thought, and it will simply blow away like it came. Look within yourself. Question. Question through marinating in your own recognition that you yourself are watching and listening to these thoughts. And hold on to that I am, hold on to that me-ness that you feel, that you sense. Be more interested in discovering what you are, and all the outside distractions will drop away. In fact, they only happen because you're more interested in the external than the internal. Objective looking, silent observation, indifference, dispassionate gaze. They are all the same. Simply being. It too is the same thing. But the power of this observation, but the power of simply resting within yourself and recognizing these thoughts, interpreting and perceiving these emotions and thoughts and sensations as other. It reveals their mechanics, the fact they come and go on their own. It will guide you, reveal to you the truths that keep them here, the things you hold on to, the experiences you refuse to look at and digest. When you see your emotions with the same gaze as you see a leaf blowing on the street, you know you will be there. Because it requires far less effort to allow things to be than it does to hold on and expand upon the temporary. And in that very sense, that which can come and go is not true and not you. So pay it no interest, pay it no attention. Your inner environment only appears to be unruly because you believe you can rule it. That is not how this works. That is not the gaze that we are. To view something objectively and without passion does not mean to let go of that which makes you you. Because truly you can never be destroyed. That which what you are never falls away, for if it did, you would not experience. You are that which perceives all experience both inside you and outside you, but in truth, everything is you. There is no thing as other. You can come into this ground of being, of understanding your true self and true position, when you go beyond the mind, when you go beyond the emotions and the sensations of form. But this only happens when you let go of the seriousness, the investment that you put into your thoughts and emotions and sensation. It's through our own dispassionate observation that the illusory and false crumbles. And what it reveals, what it will show you, is truth. Because what is true cannot be destroyed. It simply is. The questions you must ask yourselves to discern and to reach this stage or state of space and recognition is to question why you hold on so tightly to that which distracts you the most. Again, we must look at the contradictions that we express and live. When you see that the thoughts and emotions can drop away, what you're left with is simply silence and peace. For that's all that is really there. And when you become more interested in this space, that's when you know you're there. And all you must do is continue to sink deeper and deeper into yourself, and all shall be revealed to you. And let it be known now that you need not do anything to find this space if you seemingly lose it. Just allow yourself to let go and everything to simply be. And it will arise spontaneously as it was lost. Because just as the planets and stars are in a void of space, so are your thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations. But the space never comes and goes. The space is there. And the thoughts and habits and internal happenings only arise because they have the vehicle of space to be in. That which what we call I is that space. space. So be as you are, and all will be as it is. And that concludes our meditation for today. Now, again, the most important thing to look at with anything that happens in these meditations or within your own everyday life is to question it. Look at it. And the thing is, when we look at these things, it's not to perceive it or question it with our own sense of right or wrong, with our own sense of good or bad. It's not looking at these things with the past impressions of our own judgments and assumptions. It's to really look at these things openly. It's to allow yourself just to simply watch. And I say it all the time. It's that watching it like it's something else outside of a window, like you're a cat watching birds or a dog watching squirrels. You see them as these just happenings that are coming and going. And the key with that you could say metaphor with that is that it's something that's not within your control. That's one of the biggest things. And when you look at that, it's something that can easily liberate you, because when you no longer hold on to the emotions that your thoughts are trying to evoke, that when you no longer question you know yourself with the doubt and the seeds of doubt that the thoughts try to plant, and you simply observe those happenings as like a car driving by down the street, it's so rewarding, liberating. I mean, there's so many words that can be used for it, but it's that moment of just letting go, that you recognize that, oh, it just happens by itself. And when you realize that, it's the weight that doesn't become as powerful of thoughts and emotions. Again, it's what was said is almost like a suggestion. You see it for what it is, and you can take it or leave it, but it's not something that controls you. And that's one of the biggest things to think about, is because when you're in this realm of strict and intimate belief and identity with thought and emotions, then again, you're like the child having a tantrum. They lead you away. And it takes many things and other people at times. You distancing yourselves entirely from situations for these things to fall away and just let go. But it's like anything else in life. When do we really let go of these moments? You can either hold on to them forever, or they just kind of go away. It's like when you're sad, it's those moments of laughter and those actions of just being out and about in the world and experiencing life that make you forget that you were even upset, right? And it's the same thing here. We really need to come to a point where we see things, when we perceive life from this state of objectivity, because when we hold on to everything and have to judge everything, and we have our 2 cents and beliefs and assumptions about everything, it's going to do nothing but create chaos. And that's the biggest problem in our lives that we all experience, is that when we ourselves don't trust ourselves, when we don't trust to just let things be, we often get in the way. And it's because we're holding on too tightly to things. And because of that, it's almost like we're smothering it. And it's very much like that saying, if you like a flower and you think a flower is beautiful, don't cut it and put it in a vase, because you're killing the beauty you love. And that's the same thing with yourself, really. When you listen to these thoughts, and when you listen to these emotions, you are taking yourself outside of yourself. And you are now identifying and putting your energy and your sense of existence into this thing that you observed. And the biggest thing with that is fundamentally you're witnessing it. It's not you. So if this was a meditation that you found really difficult, I recommend just coming back to this point of simple looking indifferently, dispassionately, objectively, and again questioning, where did this come from? Where did it go? You know, when you have a thought in your day that simply just kind of goes across your screen of your awareness, those are those moments, those subtleties in our existence that are really geared at showing us the true nature of thought, of emotion, of sensation, that they do come and go, that they're not things we have to hold on to. And that is so powerful. And that in itself is those moments where truth and trust in life and the universe can be built, you know, and it's those moments, it's those doorways that we can recognize. And it's like, oh, I know that now. And you can kind of lead yourself into better situations through this understanding that you have. But again, it all comes through questioning. It comes through not holding everything so tightly. It comes through really just allowing things to be. And the crazy thing about this is, you know, when I first heard from, you know, and this was Adyashanti, a spiritual teacher, and awakened or enlightened being, it was one of the thought songs of his that I was listening to that he simply said, what falls away isn't you. How can it be? And for some reason, it just struck right to the heart. It just poof, almost put me on my back, you know, because for me, it was this sense of observing the happenings, the coming and goings of thought, the coming and goings of emotions. And when it was recognized and heard, I knew it was true. And it was a trust that you can't explain. It was just that gut feeling that we have and that we experience. And for some reason, I was like, that seems right. Because when I looked at my experiences, that I was kind of feeling that anyway, or I was questioning things with that understanding and those words of advice. It was almost like a, you know, a splash of cold water on your face that just wakes you up. It was one of those things that was just like, oh, the aha moments. That makes sense now. And the thing is, that aha moment only came through looking, just simply looking at the thoughts that would distract me the most, at the emotions that would distract me the most, and simply looking them and just seeing them for what they are, just something that comes and goes. Because really, the situations and events that they even came across internally were random, like out of nowhere. And when you think about it like that, you can really start to see your mind as just this little restless child. And when you start to see it and understand it like that, it's not something that you have to attack. It's not something that you have to kind of like eliminate and war with to get rid of. It's something that you just dismiss. It's like if a kid asks you something and just keeps asking you and tugging on your shoulder, you just say calmly, "Hey, you know, thank you. I'll get to you in a second." And from there, just ignore it. Just ignore them, you know, because they know, and everything else is just, you can say it again. Like if the thought or emotion keeps coming, just, "Hey, I know that this isn't real." You can just look at your thoughts. You don't need to say anything internally. Just look at them from the knowing that it's temporary. You know, the thing about life and true spirituality in this sense is that you are dictating your reality. Whatever you believe life to be, that's what it will believe, or that's what will happen. So you need to understand that whatever you believe will come to existence. And that's one of the reasons why, honestly, meditation and things are so difficult for people, is because you believe it will be. Because you hold yourselves to these standards and assumptions of other things and people that just don't exist. But your mind tells you they are. And they tell you it's real. And because of that, you're like, oh, yeah, okay. But in its truth, we need to understand that your mind and your emotions and the body don't serve you yet until you really understand who's controlling it, or lack thereof, who's witnessing it, who's just watching the flow. And when you align with more truth will begin to present itself in front of you. Now, the theme this month is very, I don't want to say warring, but it's very geared at identifying and essentially eliminating the role of the ego in this sense. And I won't really say ending the role of the ego, because in truth that never ends. It's always going to be there. It's intended to be there. But what ends is your belief in it. What ends is your attachment to it. But again, this can only get perpetuated when you hold on to that space. And even saying words like hold on aren't true, because you're not holding on to anything. That's the whole point of the space. It's that freedom. It's just that letting go. And through this, recognition of the space within you, the thoughts come by less. And, your awareness in terms of the space stays clear. Because what could be understood in this sense is your awareness and your gaze is that focaling point. It's that it's that magnifying glass that really puts those blinders on and allows you to look and analyze at specific things. And when you're no longer being instantly dragged around and led astray by your thoughts and emotions, what happens is these blinders just drop and you see everything. You feel it. You see the space. And because of that, you can see the thought enter your gaze and you see it leave your gaze. It becomes just a voice that's, you know, secondary. You could say it's almost like background music. And you can listen to it if you want to, but you don't have to. And the thing that happens that you'll see and witness is that it happens less and less and less. And then from there, you're living life how you already live it. You're already in a flow. That's one thing that I really want people to understand, because I've said it before and I didn't really fully express it, but life is always in a flow. You flow with life. And we only experience chaos when we go against that flow and believe that we can do our own thing, because it's fundamentally illusory. We believe ourselves to be outside of life. You are life itself. You're a part of this game. You're not outside of it. No one else would see you if you weren't, or if you were outside of it, rather. And that's the kind of excitement that's here, is because when you enter this realm of recognition and you don't really care, that objectivity, that dispassion for what's internally, you're able just to kind of instantly, boom, that's not real, boom, that's not real, boom, that's not real. You identify instantaneously the origin of certain thoughts and emotions. And from there, you have a point. You have a chance and an opportunity to either go back into the habit or be like, oh, okay, whatever. And that. So really just treat everything as kind of like meh, whatever, internally. Like, don't hold on to anything and don't take it so seriously. I think that's one of the things that really gets taken over by these types of searches and these types of topics, is because in truth there's a lot of seriousness that goes into it that's kind of put you in this realm of questioning. But what's going to get you through it is just letting go and just not really caring about what can happen, good or bad. I think it's that, again, it's building trust. It's learning to live without putting yourself above everything and putting yourself in front of everything that you're experiencing. Because when you remove that filter, you're just left with life and reality. And it's a lot more simple than what we currently make it, because the mind complicates everything. You know, it has an idea or a belief about everything, an assumption about how it will end out or end up, pretty much about everything. So again, it's just not, don't be so interested in your imagination, because that's all thought really is. It's just happening on its own. And when you don't become interested in it, it just quiets itself out. Again, it's like that wheel on the playground that just keeps spinning and it'll just stop spinning. And from there, you realize, oh, it was only spinning because I was adding into the spin. You're adding energy to it. And it's that objectivity that allows us to kind of see these things. And that's the destruction and the recognition. So I hope that this meditation has helped you gain a little bit more clarity. And again, continue to practice. It's one of these things where it's going to feel really intimate at first, but I promise you, the space, the relaxation, the bubble, the sphere of just peace, it will come to you more and more. It will come to you more and more. And when you're left with those moments where it's little thought and emotion and sensation, you'll realize it didn't change anything about your experience. It only amplified it, breaking another seed of doubt of the thought and mind. So I hope you utilize this to free yourself from the monotony and chaos of the internal conditioning. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend. And I will catch you guys next week on the next live stream meditation. Bye.